fruits take 30 minutes to digest. Meat can take 3 to 6 hours to digest. If you combine together, what's going to happen? The fruit will sit on top of the meat and starches. It will cause fermentation.
You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. I bet you've never heard of Mourab Maraby, and that is who I'm interviewing today. If you suffer with headaches, brain fog, swelling, constipation, bloating, digestive issues, excess weight, skin issues, acne, cellulite, poor immunity, muscle and joint pain, overall fatigue, even sinus infections. This episode is packed full of information. UTIs, Candida, parasites. We cover so much and all about how to heal naturally without any medication. Mourab, he is an herbalist and he addresses the issues at the root cause. He doesn't just put a Band-Aid on it. And he's talking about some herbs in today's episode that I've even never heard of. And so definitely stay tuned to the very end because I think this is going to be one that you're going to be saving and going back to time and time again to listen over and over because it's literally a novel compacted into 1 hour. So I can't wait for you guys to listen. I recently burned my arm when I was cooking with oil and it splattered right back at me and scorched my arm. It hurt like heck, but I immediately slathered tons of Manuka honey on it. Then I wrapped it up and let it sit for about 5 hours. The very next day, you could barely tell I burned my arm, only to see a few blistered spots of skin. I didn't get infected and it healed right up. I even showed a 24-hour before and after photo on my Instagram, and you guys were amazed. That's the healing power of Manuka honey. It can heal our outer layer of skin, and if it can do that, imagine what it can do to heal our insides, our gut lining, our digestive tract, and fight off infections. The brand I used was Manuka from New Zealand, and this contains 3 times more antioxidants than your typical sweetener, and also contains a special antibacterial compound called MGO. The higher the MGO count, the more of these antibacterial compounds exist in the honey. So it's hard to find honey with this type of MGO above 500, but Manuka guarantees an MGO of at least 850. Drizzle this on top of yogurt, add it to your smoothies, or just spoon some right into your mouth if you have a sore throat. This stuff is nature's healing machine. And now it's easier than ever to try Manuka honey. Just head on over to manukora.com/digest to save $70 on their starter kit, which comes with an 850 MGO Manuka honey jar, 5 honey travel sticks, and a wooden spoon, plus a guidebook. That's manukora.com/digest to save $70 plus $25 worth of free gifts. Go to manukora.com/digest. If you're buying quality food and ingredients like grass-fed meat and organic produce, but still cooking with pots and pans containing forever chemicals, then all your efforts to clean eating kind of just went out the window. I personally have been using Our Place non-toxic ceramic cookware and absolutely love it. Not only are they easy to use, easy to clean, but also very lightweight, which was something I hated with my previous non-toxic pots and pans. Our Place offers a variety of toxin-free cookware ranging from slow cookers, blenders, pots, pans, bakeware, and even dinnerware with all a modern, sleek style. Their non-stick cookware is made with ceramic, but most importantly, they're made without PFAS, lead, or cadmium. They're also oven safe for up to 450 degrees for all your favorite stovetop to oven recipes. These are the perfect gifts for your family, friends, and of course, yourself. Stop cooking with toxic cookware and upgrade to Our Place today. Visit FromOurPlace.com/digest and use code DIGEST for 10% off site-wide with a 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free returns. You can experience this game-changing cookware with zero risk. Okay, Mourab, thank you for coming on. I think a lot of people need to know who you are And I'm really excited to dive into all things natural healing from different areas of the body. Before we even get started, I like to start my podcast out with some rapid fire yes or no questions. And you can only answer yes or no. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay. First question. Do parasites hate fruit?
No.
Do parasites love meat?
They don't love meat. Meat sets the environment or the terrain. More
Okay.
like the terrain. Yes.
Okay. Is there a test you can do on yourself to determine if your hair can grow back or not?
What I use as a test is called the ginger powder test. Basically, it's based in Chinese medicine, and you take a bit of ginger powder, has to be the powder, and then you cook it. You put it on a pan with equal amounts of water. So you take out 1 tablespoon of the powder, about 2-3 tablespoons of the water, and you cook it like as a paste. You cool it off and use that paste on your scalp. If you put it on your scalp and do it every day and follow it with a massage, you should see signs potentially, depending on how, like, have you lost your hair for years? Probably wouldn't work for you. But if your hair is struggling and you put it on your scalp, if there's potential, you'll see it. You'll see some kind of progress.
Okay. So essentially, yes, there is a test that you can do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a stimulant. The ginger is more of a stimulant, so and it's very warming. So when you put warmth in the area, based on Chinese medicine, you're going to see a response from the body because heat is healing. Right. So that's the philosophy I use. I use vitalism and Chinese medicine as part of my healing modality. So yes, yeah. And we've had great success with it. Many people have tried it, and they do see progress. They'll see some kind of sign, some indication that it's possible.
Oh, interesting. Does it hurt? Does it burn on your scalp?
No, it tingles.
It tingles. Okay.
Yeah, I use it a lot. I like to use it before I shower. I'll put on my scalp just as like a pre-shampoo almost.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, 2 more questions. Yes or no? Is cellulite reversible?
Yes,
Ooh. Last question. Is oral health determined by what we eat?
absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. So, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell my listeners who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name is Mourab Maraby. I'm a herbalist. I'm a master herbalist, clinical herbalist. I'm also well-trained or versed in Chinese medicine, vitalism, as well as lymphatic healing. Basically, that means it's detoxification using fruits and herbs and therapeutics to get the body better. So what I mean by that, I mean we allow the body to do what it does, self-heal. As you know, the body itself, it's a self-healing mechanism. So my entire job is to get the body to heal itself. And we use these tools to allow it to optimize the healing process.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's so interesting. And I definitely want to dive into the lymphatic system because I think that is one that's not really covered enough. And the lymphatic system is, it contributes to so many different parts of your body. And, so first of all, because parasites are just a hot topic right now, I want to know what is the best diet if you have parasites?
From my experience, the best diet would be I would use a food-based raw vegan diet is what I would use. And the reason,
Really?
yes, and the reason why I know this goes contrary to what people follow. So first, I want to clarify what I do is a means to an end. There are many ways to get to that end. So I can only speak based on my experience, and I'm not the kind of person who says my way or the highway. Like I keep an open mind always. But when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking from experience only, right? So because a lot of people may use different modalities and get results, it's possible. But I can't speak for them. I can only speak from my experience. And the reason why we use fruits specifically, think of fruits as scrubbers. So you consume the fiber, but fruits offer something that most foods don't offer. They offer astringency, the ability to pool or mucus or break down stuff. And when I speak of these fruits, and not all fruits, but astringent fruits, berries, melons, and citrus fruits, we use them to clean up the system. So when you have parasites, one of the major reasons for parasites is because the terrain has been set up to encourage them. Parasites are viewed as nature's cleaners. Okay, whilst they are bad for us, they're actually there because we allow them to be there. The terrain is set up for them. For instance, bacteria is used to break down heavy metals. It can break down proteins that can be digested properly. And fungi is used to break down sugars. If you can't break down sugars properly, you attract Candida and fungus, right? And viruses are there to target weak cells. They tell the body, hey, this side is weak. It will tend to, it's an indication that there's a weak immunity, sorry. So in general, we use fruits because they help move the lymphatic system, which is the base of the terrain. So for instance, if you eat a lot of food, different kind of food, so proteins, and you have your starches and you have your fruits, and you mix and match, you're going to set up a terrain that's going to encourage the parasites to come. Okay, that's why you see sometimes people go on a meat-only cleanse, or they will go on a fruit-only cleanse, or some kind of elimination diet, and they'll get results. It's not, neither of them is bad. It's just that when you do that, you are giving the body an ample time to heal and also cleanse the body as well. Right?
Okay.
So it's not about which diet is necessarily wrong or right. It's about the timing, how you combine the foods. Okay, and these will set up the environment for parasites. And the reason why North Americans especially have parasites is because we do a lot of food combining. We eat a lot of starchy foods mixed with animal products, mixed with some fruits. It's all like a mix and match. And the body can't digest it efficiently because fruits take 30 minutes to digest. Meat can take 3 to 6 hours to digest.
Mm-hmm.
If you combine together, what's going to happen? The fruit will sit on top of the meat and the starches. It will cause fermentation. This will attract Candida, etc.
You know, it's so interesting. I grew up and my parents always told me to eat my fruit before dinner, not after dinner, because they told me that it digests a lot faster and they didn't want it fermenting in my stomach.
Yes, absolutely right. That's exactly what how it's like. So a lot of people get things confused. Like I noticed online, there's like a war between, meat eaters or say carnivores, and then fruit eaters. And I don't see why that's the case though, because everybody has their own preferences. Everybody has their own goals and directions, and there's no need for anyone to be fighting against each other. It's just a matter of understanding when and how to use each and every of those food groups. So that's my viewpoint.
So do you recommend not eating, obviously you not eating meat in conjunction with fruit? You can just eat them separately.
Yes.
Let's just say if you're not doing a parasite cleanse or something.
Yes, I wouldn't combine meat and fruit at all, or all fruits and starches.
What about dairy, like yogurt or kefir?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't combine fruits with that either. I would literally eat fruits alone. And the good thing about the fruits is that it takes only 15 to 30 minutes to digest. So like you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, you want to cleanse or scrub your system, eat some fruits, but wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then eat the way you prefer to eat. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, so is it a myth that fruit attracts parasites?
It's a myth because there's no full understanding of it. Like who's saying it and how they're saying it, and like as I mentioned, it's how you combine, and it's the terrain that's existing before. If the terrain is, for instance, fruits will tell you exactly what's wrong with you. If you go on a fruit only cleanse, and there's something wrong with you inside, it's going to expose it quickly. And people view that as it's bad for me. It's not bad for you. It's just bringing it up to light. If you want to expose your weaknesses, go on fruits. If you want to hide it or dullify it or make it not so obvious, then you go on heavier foods like the animal proteins and whole grains.
Is that why people feel better on a carnivore diet? Are they just masking their symptoms, or is it really truly that they feel better?
I mean, it's an elimination diet. That's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, like I said, I'm a plant-based eater. but I was once a meat eater as well. So I've experienced both sides, and I'm neither for one or the other. It's just my personal preference that I'm a plant-based eater. But it doesn't dictate how I view others who are on a carnivore diet or any other diet.
Okay.
But the reason why people feel better is because fruits also are elimination diets, and and the carnivore diet is elimination diet. The major difference between the two, in my point of view, is that with the fruits, you have the astringent factor, the high flavonoid, high antioxidants, mineral vitamins, and with the meat, obviously, you have the elements in there that you don't get, you can't necessarily get from the fruits. But there are entirely two different things.
Well, you mentioned food combining. So let's just talk about that for just a second. So, what foods are beneficial when we combine them, and what foods are not beneficial when we combine them? I know we just talked about the fruit and meat thing, but let's
Yeah.
exact.
Well, fruits definitely I'll keep alone, aside of its own. And I don't recommend you combine grains and proteins. Proteins being animal products, but also plant-based proteins as well. Just because it becomes much harder to digest. Long ago, I was long ago, way before I got into this, I was exposed to a book called I think it's called Fit for Life, and I wasn't even in this field at all. I had no idea or concept of healing, but it made sense to me back then that he was saying, like, eat your carbohydrates, eat your fats and your fruits at separate times. And I tried it, just out of curiosity, and I did feel much better because the body can concentrate. It can break down proteins if it's just dealing with proteins. It can break down starches. It's more focused. I guess it's like life. In life, when you focus on something, just one thing, you do well, right? When you combine your attention is everywhere else, I mean, you won't do well at all,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I'm always telling people too, even I make smoothies all the time, and I always tell them, don't add a lot of things to your smoothie because it's like a war zone in your stomach. You're adding too many things to digest at once. Like maybe add like a couple different types of like fruit or something. But when you're adding so much, it's like eating a buffet in a small cup of a smoothie, It's a lot.
You said it perfectly. Also, if you're going to have a smoothie, you should chew your smoothie. People don't realize it. Yes, you have to chew because when you take a smoothie, it's gone straight right down in there. There's no enzymes or, your saliva is not in there. So it can actually be quite not difficult to digest. So you always chew it. I know it sounds silly, but
No, it doesn't. I tell it all the time. And I'm so glad you brought this up because when I make a smoothie, I make it thick, like almost like soft serve ice cream. And it
yeah,
takes me 1 hour to eat the smoothie because I'm just using a spoon basically. And like you said, the saliva in your mouth, those are enzymes that are coming up and helping you
exactly.
to digest. Hmm.
A saint once said, eat consciously. Eat consciously. Like most of us don't eat consciously. Like when you put it in your mouth, like hold the spoon and see yourself holding the spoon, and when it hits your lips, feel it, and when you swallow it, feel it, and then become aware or conscious of your food, and that takes it to a different level. It becomes almost like meditation or concentration. Very few people do that, but if you did that, you have a transformation in terms of your digestion, and also it might actually awaken you as well.
Well, what about fats? Are fats and protein? I know that those are good together, correct?
Yeah, they go together. It takes about approximately the same time to digest. So yeah, and also you remember your animal protein has fat in there as well, right? So
Right, right.
yeah,
'Cause I always I'm wondering too, because fats take a long time to digest, and so do meat, and so that kind of goes into the same category as opposed to carbs and fruits.
uh, what do you mean the same category?
Like category as far as fast digesting foods, slow digesting
Yeah.
foods.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I just still wouldn't combine the starches with the ideally
Okay,
with the protein because different enzymes are required to break it down, right?
okay.
Um, and especially when you're dealing with like rice and pasta and that sort of starches, which are not the best for you, it's gonna impede digestion.
Okay. And now going back to the whole parasites thing. So, what herbs are the best to rid your body of parasites?
The four herbs you can use that will cover a good amount of parasites in general, including bacteria and fungus, would be cloves, would be wormwood, black walnut hull, and hawthorn berry leaves. These four are very comprehensive, and for most people, unless you have an allergic reaction to them, they're going to get rid of most of worms and parasites in your system for you.
How do you take them? Is it a tincture form? Is that the best way?
I prefer tincture because it's easy to use, it's faster, it works in seconds, it goes right to the bloodstream. But you can make a tea of it if you want, if the tincture is an issue for you.
Okay, and how long should someone do a parasite cleanse? Because I've heard everything from the spectrum.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an intricate topic because in general, I think 3 to 4 months. And why 3 to 4 months? Because they lay eggs, parasites lay eggs that can lay dormant for that long. But also, your parasite cleanse should be cycled. It should be gentler, so it can take a little bit a longer period of time. I would do like either 3 weeks, take a week, 1 week or 2 weeks off, and then restart, or you can do it like 4 days, take 3 days off, and cycle, and go for 3 to 4 months. And don't overdo it. Just do it in a gradual way. And I will also take some probiotics as well. Just to make sure the gut is fine, because these herbs, as powerful as they are, sometimes if you overdo them, they can also affect the good bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, well, I recently, I don't want to say just did because I'm kind of like in the middle of it, but I have been doing a parasite cleanse and I have been doing it like on and then off because I can only do it for like 4 days straight. And every 4 days, I'll like pass parasites and then I'm like, I can't function sometimes. It's like intense.
Yeah, that's called the die-offs, right? You're having die-offs. Are you taking binders?
I am, yes. And that's another question I had because if you're not taking binders, then you probably shouldn't do a parasite cleanse, right?
It depends on how toxic you are. In general, yes, the answer is correct. You should not do a parasite cleanse without some way of sweeping it up. So you can use zeolite, activated charcoal in moderation, chlorella. These are the staples you can use. But if you don't have binders and you still wanted to do a parasite cleanse, you could do it. I would just do it in a very, very gradual, slow manner so that it doesn't hit the system too hard and it's paced out. So maybe I'll cut the dose to a quarter, maybe, and then I'll do it like I'll do 2 days, take like 4 days off, that sort of thing. I mean, it rotates that way.
All right. Now, I had mentioned or I had asked at the beginning remedies for cellulite because you said that you can reverse cellulite. So let's talk about that and how would you do that?
Let's go. When I say reverse, I want to explain. So I don't deal with symptoms. I don't deal with names. Like, these are for treatments. That's not what I'm about. I'm about optimizing the body's own healing ability. So I don't go by names, but what is cellulite as far as we are concerned in the natural healing field? It's lymphatic, it's your lymphatic system. It's storing toxins and waste and sewage in an area so that when it has the time to release, it can release it. Okay, so it's almost like when like I consider when you see a cyst in your body, a cyst is a way of encapsulating sewage that it can't get rid of, and it's not efficiently leaving the body, so it has to protect it, or a fibroid, or something like that. I know there are different intricate details of this, but I'm talking in a very basic, simple way that most people can understand. The body is very intelligent, and it's going to do its best to safeguard you in the safest possible manner. So cellulite, you see people who are very thin and they have cellulite, right? It's not this, you don't have to be like, you don't have to carry weight to have cellulite. Actually, I've seen people who are maybe a tad bit to the heavier side, but they won't have as much as a thinner person with way more cellulite. And you ask yourself why? Well, the thinner person is holding more toxins. It's storing in that location. So when we're addressing cellulite, we address the lymphatic system. So it's not treatment-based. It's based on opening up the elimination organs. So the liver is not an elimination organ, but it helps with transmutation of chemicals. So we cleanse the liver, we cleanse the kidneys for metabolic waste removal, we cleanse the bowels for digestive waste, and then we sweat properly for the skin, and we breathe properly so we can get rid of waste. When you open up all those avenues, you're going to see that the cellulite will start to reduce because the waste is leaving. It can take you a long time, but you can witness the difference.
Okay, so cellulite is basically just toxins built up in our body?
Yeah, that's how we view it, yes.
Oh, I'm like, okay, my mind is like blown right now.
It's being stored.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can use stuff like a coffee scrub to help. You can do lymphatic massages on the area. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a Chinese acupressure. It's like a stick, and it has like little balls attached to it.
I haven't seen that.
I don't think I have it here, but yeah. Anyway, it's quite long, and these balls they are wooden balls, and you massage the area, and it goes really deep into the area. And if you do it for a long period of time, you actually see, you can see progress then and there, like in a few short minutes. And then externally, to get rid of the congestion there, I would use something like you can either use green matcha oil, a go-to cola. These are very powerful. These two are fantastic for cellulite. One of my favorites though is poke root, and that's because the poke root it removes the lymphatic stagnation that's holding the waste. So when you apply these on a consistent basis, and of course you cleanse your body, please don't make the mistake of thinking that it just means that you do this and the cellulite goes away. No, you have to cleanse the system so that all the waste removes. And then if you do that properly, you will see results.
Poke root, is that a topical thing or an internal?
Yeah, no, topical.
It's topical.
Okay. Having said that, though, I would use a herb called cleavers, because cleavers is a lymphatic cleanser and a kidney cleanser.
And because you have an online herbal store, do you sell cleavers?
Yes.
You do. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So for those that don't know, you have an online herbal store. There's tons of herbs. I checked it out, and it's like the herbal pharmacy. It's incredible. It's things that I've never even heard of. So check that out. I'll be sure to put that link in today's show notes for those wondering. Now, I want to get into the lymphatic system because I know that's something that you really specialize in. And something that my husband and I have been really kind of digging into is it's almost like everything is connected to the lymphatic system, and it's almost comical because we're like, oh man, going back to the lymphatic system, like fatigue, if you have digestive issues, if you have constipation, excess weight, headaches, skin issues, acne, poor immunity, muscle joint, like it's all lymphatic. Is that correct, basically?
Yes. Very, very much so. And I can explain it if you want me to explain
Go
why.
for it, please. I want to know, and I'm sure my listeners want to.
Okay, so remember, me personally, one of my superpowers is that I like to explain things very, 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 very simply. I'm not concerned about the actual technical names you use. I want the person who is following me to understand or to see clearly so that they can understand themselves. Because when you understand, then you know how to take care of yourself. So in my training, meaning like the lymphatic training, we understand that the lymphatic system is filtered and cleansed by the kidneys. This is not the conventional thinking. The conventional thinking is the blood, right? But the lymphatic system cleanses the blood, through the spleen. But the major difference you see if you understand this, what I'm saying, is that you can see the results almost instantly, visually, okay, not by test. So the kidneys and lymphatic system, they are tied together. So kidney filtration, the kidneys will filter out the metabolic waste from the lymphatic system. And you can see it by wake up in the morning. First thing, wake up in the morning, you pee into a clear jar. And then you pick up the clear jar. And then if you look at it at the sunlight or some good source of light, you should see sediment in it. That means you should see, it looks like strands of mucus or specks of like snowflakes, that kind of appearance. This means that your body is getting rid of metabolic waste. And it's verified more so clinically, because when you go on a cleanse, you're going to see a lot of it come out. Like some people, they'll see like a thick layer of sediment. That's metabolic waste, because they're using herbs for the kidneys, etc. They're cleansing up, so the body is flushing out the toxins. So you can see it with your own eyes. It's the sediment. But this is how we, in a clinical sense, deal with it. I'm not talking about your EGF number or any kind of number like that. I'm talking about in terms of seeing with your own eyes. So once you understand that the kidneys cleanse the lymphatic system, and you can witness the results yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, because once you go on a cleanse I'm speaking of, you see inflammation in your body, you see all these things happening. You can verify, because your pain will go down, your swelling will go down, symptoms will go down as well. So all these are very important verifications that you can verify with your own self. So how do you feel when you do it is proof, because you're getting better, right? For instance, like if you have joint pain, which is very common among, I'm sure a lot of people who follow you are athletes and bodybuilders, etc. I used to have the belief that, I was told through society that, as you get older and you lift bodybuilding, lift weights, joint pain is normal. And, especially when you hit your 40s, your 35, 40, 50s, joint pain is normal. And I beg to differ. I say it's not normal at all. I say that you can verify it if you do the cleanse I'm speaking of, that those joint pains start to go away. It proves to you that the kidneys are filtering out the lymphatic waste. The waste, that joint pain is caused by sewage, metabolic waste being trapped. So once you go on the cleanse and you're removing all this waste, the joint pain goes away. And if that was not true, then the joint pain shouldn't go away, because remember, we are told that is a normal part of aging. I say that's not true at all, and based on what I've seen for myself personally, and also with people I've guided as well.
So is joint pain just buildup of toxins?
Toxins used loosely, I would say, is just inflammation trapped. In a very simple way. So yes, toxins is part of inflammation, right? Because you have toxins in the area, it will cause inflammation. So it's best to think of it as trapped inflammation. That's what I call it.
So to address that, or anything, basically, you need to get your lymphatic system flowing and moving, right?
Yes, correct. That's where the fruits come in.
Okay, the fruits. So fruits are really good for your lymphatic system.
Yeah, and also they're anti-inflammatory, remember, right? They're anti-inflammatory. They're full of antioxidants, mineral vitamins. I mean, like if you look at the old paintings we have in Greek mythology and classical drawing, you see grapes everywhere, don't you? Right? I understand that there's a wine component. Don't get me wrong, but even then, the wine they used to make was healing. Wine used to be like a medicine, but the grape itself is super potent in terms of healing. If you go on a grapes, yes, Concord grapes especially. If you go with Concord grapes, you're gonna see stuff that you probably cannot imagine in a good way, meaning how you feel. The inflammation goes down. Pain goes down. So this proves to you that inflammation is being taken care of. And the fruits offer, not all fruits, some fruits like bananas and stuff.
I was just going to ask you what fruits are not good.
It's not that it's bad. It's just we use them for certain fruits for certain circumstances. So if you're going on a cleanse, you want astringent fruits, astringent.
Okay, so you said like melons, grapes, papaya?
Not papaya.
No.
That's fantastic for your gut, don't get me wrong. But I talk about melons as a category, citrus as a category, and then berries as a category. Those three is what I use for cleansing. But you can use like pineapple core, and you can use the papaya if you have digestive issues, if you're constipated, you want to break down some stuff in you that's not breaking down. Very potent, because it has the bromelain and the papain in there to help you. So we use fruits for certain circumstances based on what you're trying to attend to. If your gut was destroyed, I wouldn't put really strong. I wouldn't give you citrus fruits, even though the citrus could help you, but it will be more of an aggressive cleanse. And because someone is in pain with the gut, then you want gentle fruits like apples and pears. Apple sauce, raw apple sauce. These are nurturing and they're gentle, but they're very potent at the same time, but not to the level of citrus. Because you go on a lemon cleanse, is again, like the grapes, it's going to show you stuff you will not believe is inside you.
Vitamin C is well known for its immune boosting benefits, but did you know it's also a crucial nutrient with numerous benefits for the body? It acts as a potent antioxidant, aids in collagen production, and enhances iron absorption. Vitamin C contributes to healthy skin, blood vessels, and bones, and plays a role in wound healing. So yes, if you're low in iron, and I think many are, maybe you're doing all the right things, but lacking vitamin C. That may just be the missing link you need. But you want to make sure the vitamin C you're taking is also being absorbed properly. I've noticed that when I take a liquid liposomal vitamin C versus a pill, the liquid is absorbed so much better and faster. I love Peak Tea's liposomal vitamin C that you can just suck straight from the package. It actually tastes delicious and is also packed with elderberry for optimal synergy, because studies even show that when elderberry and vitamin C are taken together, the benefits are much greater than just taking alone. So if you want 20% off Peak tea's liposomal vitamin C or any of their amazing organic toxin-free teas, just go to peaklife.com/digest and you'll get 20% off automatically. That's peaklife.com/digest. peaklife.com/digest. Hey guys, I want to give every one of you a gift, so listen up. Many of you know that I created my own digestive support protein powder designed to aid in gut health and specifically formulated for those with sensitive tummies. I created this back in 2018, and since then, it's helped thousands of you with digestive issues and given relief. All that positive feedback has encouraged me to expand the Bethany's Pantry line with 3 different flavors, a protein bake, and L-glutamine powder to help heal and seal the gut lining. So as a thank you for being a podcast listener, I want to give you $10 off anything from my digestive support line. You can use this $10 discount on any flavor of protein, protein bake, or digestive aid such as L-glutamine. The one-time code podcast10 will give you $10 off. Whether you're a regular consumer or have never tried but wanted to, anyone can use this code one time as a gift from me. Oh, and a little side note, because we source our pea protein from Europe, I can assure you it's not sprayed with glyphosate because it's actually illegal in Europe to spray pea crops with such chemicals. Europe's standards and regulations on growing crops are far superior than American standards, and that's why I am proud to use such a source for my clean, easy to digest, lectin-free protein powder. Go to bethanysPantry.com, which is our new website, and use the code podcast10 for $10 off anything. Again, bethanysPantry.com, and then go and use the podcast10 code and you'll get $10 off. Okay, so what's in grapes specifically that helps?
The high phytonutrients in there, right? And mineral vitamins, flavonoids, antioxidants. So that's what it offers. But more importantly, the astringency is why we use this for.
So make sure if anyone's listening, opt for fresh grapes. Don't go out and get the Welch's grape juice, you guys. Okay. That's not going to help you here. Now, I had mentioned some symptoms, like if someone is wondering if their lymphatic system is not working properly, can you list some symptoms?
Obvious ones. Autoimmune conditions are a clear indication. Swelling, clear indication. Pain, it's a clear indication of your lymphatic system. These basically cover almost every ailment you might have, right?
Wow, okay.
Bad digestion, it's all lymphatics because every single tissue, organ, and gland is composed of lymphatic fluid. So the lymphatic fluid, the way to look at it is like it's in every single cell. So it's, God knows only how long it is, millions and millions of miles long. They can't figure it out yet, but every single cell has the fluid. So when you reach a point where you're congested, it can take a little bit of time to rehydrate and move the lymph system. It can take, generally speaking, you feel good as you go along. However, some people, if they have a chronic condition that have been for decades, it's going to take a little bit of time to rehydrate and to move the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system is not like the heart. There's no pump. You have to move it with movement, like walking, rebounding, and then with the fruits. However, having said that, I would never rebound or do excessive walking if you had pain, inflammation. And the reason why is because you're generating more waste and the lymph system is already congested. So you're adding more burden to the lymph system. So it's getting more congested. So the pain can get worse. It's not a good idea. So in that case, I would always go with the fruits to hydrate and then add the rebounding and the walking as I get better.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good tip because some people, they think, oh, I'm just in so much pain or this, that, and the other, and they're going to probably make it worse by rebounding. I have a vibration plate that's been helping. Have you heard of those or have seen those?
Yeah, I have one too. I love it.
Okay, yeah, I love mine. And it's just like 15 minutes a day and it's great.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. That's your lymph system moving, right? That's your lymph system. It's you're vibrating, the whole body's moving. It's fantastic. I prefer it than rebounding, because rebounding, although you can rebound without lifting off the pad, it's just easier when you put on the vibration machine and it's shaking you up. It's safer and better, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, I had a rebounder and then I switched to the vibration plate because I noticed even the rebounder was causing like joint pain and like I was getting a headache just from like going up and down. And so just the vibration plate was working for me. Now let's talk about, speaking of ways to fix the lymphatic system. I know you said walking, fruits. What about dry brushing?
Fantastic too. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but dry fasting. Let's put it as a therapeutic way of moving the lymph system, which includes the dry brushing, the walking, and the rebounding, or the plates. These are, I would term, therapeutic ways of moving the lymph system, right? And it's very safe. Oops. And the dry brushing is very safe, obviously, because you're not moving, you're brushing your skin, but it does work. Has been used for generations. So yeah, I can't say anything bad about dry brushing.
Yeah, I mean, at the
Yeah.
very least, you're exfoliating your skin.
Yeah, it feels good too, right? It feels good.
It does. Like when I first started, I started itching a little bit, but I think that was my lymphatic system waking up.
Yes. So, having said that, I'd like to bring a point about the lymphatic system, because if you go to lymphatic massage, the way we are trained is that you never push waste to the heart, and most lymphatic massages are done where they're pushing the waste to the heart. You're supposed to be pushing it towards the kidneys. At least mentally, that's how you should be doing it, because the kidneys is where all the waste will be removed, the lymphatic waste. So that's the major difference between conventional lymphatic massage versus someone who knows about the lymphatic system and the kidneys. Right?
Oh,
And the reason,
wait.
yeah, you don't want to do a massage when you're in pain. Like if your lymph system is congested and you do a lymphatic massage, you will get more pain. From experience, from my clients, they'll be like, "Why am I swelling up?" Well, your lymph system is not moving, so you're massaging all the waste and you're pushing it across the corner. What's going to happen? You're going to swell up. You turn red.
Okay, so I've been looking into lymphatic massages, but Brazilian lymphatic. Do you know the
Oh
difference, or have you heard of the Brazilian?
no, I have not. What's
Okay.
the no?
Um, Definitely check that out. I'm still like researching it myself, but I heard that Brazilian lymphatic massages are a lot better than just the typical lymphatic massage. So,
Yeah, I'll
um,
look it up. Definitely. I
yeah.
always love to learn new things, to be honest with you, right?
Oh, I know.
Uh,
I'm such a nerd. Okay.
like anybody who says anything to me, I don't care who you are. I want to learn. Like, I mean, you might know something I don't know, and it might help me improve my knowledge. So, uh, I never say no to knowledge.
For reals, I don't think we'll ever stop learning until the day we die. Really, there's just
Yes.
too much here on this earth. Now, what are let's talk about heavy metal detoxing,
Okay.
because that's what a lot of people are concerned with it. I mean, it's in many of our foods, even for, vegetables and things. So,
Yes.
what are some herbs that can help or neutralize the body from heavy metals?
The best ones to use would be cilantro. I like to use parsley, spirulina, chlorella. They're not exactly herbs, but they're fantastic for helping heavy metals. Probably the strongest one is not a herb, it's zeolite. Right? You've heard of zeolite.
Zeolite?
Zeolite, Zeolite.
I've never heard of that.
No.
No,
Okay.
spill the tea.
Okay. Well, zeolite. I'm surprised because it's all over social media. But zeolite, it's I won't say chemical, but I mean it's not natural. It's what it does. It's like a cage-like structure, and it tends to attract the heavy metals, and it will lock it in. Again, I'm trying to explain in the most simplest way possible, thereby pulling out the toxins, heavy metals out for you, right? So zeolite, when you trying to cleanse the body, is a good idea, both in the parasite cleanse and a heavy metal cleanse, and it's fantastic. I've tried it myself. I have it on hand all the time. Good for your teeth. You can, when you have teeth problems, and you can take some zeolite and do a mouthwash. It's going to draw and pull the heavy metals in your mouth. I don't know if you can actually use it if you have like mercury fillings, but a good way of cleansing your mouth, because sometimes when you have teeth problems, it could be from heavy metal residue buildup as well. So zeolite is the strongest one I would use for heavy metals in general. Then comes
Zeolite.
yeah.
Okay, so is it a tincture or what is it?
It's a powder.
It's a powder.
Yeah, powder. But they sell it online. I believe multi-level marketing sells it as a liquid. I have no experience with the liquid. I use the powder version. And I believe, and from my knowledge, that you want it as a powder. You don't want it as a liquid because obviously when you put in the water, you're involving chemistry in it, right? I don't. Water is the strongest what's it called, neutralizer in our planet. It's not, it's active. My point is, so it's best to take the powder separately, always separately. Take about half teaspoon with some water. It comes like it looks white, cloudy, and you drink it, and very, very powerful. You'll feel the difference.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna look into that.
yeah, ample studies behind it. If you go to PubMD and look up zeolite, you see the studies behind it.
Wow. Okay. So zeolite, you said. What about milk thistle? Is that a good thing for heavy metals?
Yes, because it will help the liver recover, right? The
Okay.
liver is involved. So remember, I told you that the liver is I like to say, the biggest chemical factory in your body. So its job is to transmute chemicals. So when you're detoxing parasite glands or heavy metal, you always want to make sure your liver is strong.
Okay.
Not just liver, but also pancreas, gallbladder, the whole digestive system.
Well, you definitely want to make it sure everything's strong, I guess, right?
Exactly.
So zeolite, is that technically a binder?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yes. Like activated charcoal. Yes.
Okay. Now here's a question about binders. Is it safe to take a binder a couple times a week just for maintenance? Just like, I think I'm gonna, whatever, like pop a vitamin C or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. I just wouldn't overdo it. That's what. Yes. Like the one binder I would use cautiously is activated charcoal. Not because it's bad, but remember, charcoal it can absorb so much more of its weight. So if you have stuff in there that's good, it can also pull at it. So just in moderation, everything in moderation, right? Never overdo anything. You eat too much, you're gonna pay the price. You drink too much water, you pay the price.
That's true. Yeah, I know. You can die from drinking too much water. It's been so sad. Okay, well, that's good to know about the heavy metals. Now, for those struggling with chronic UTIs, first of all, what is the issue with people that have chronic UTIs? Because it's not normal. What's going on there?
From my experience, this is the natural understanding of it is that why would bacteria accumulate in an area to feed, right? So you have toxins and waste in the area, and the bacteria is coming to feed. Not to say that you can't get an infection. I'm just saying that if it keeps on coming back, you have something there that bacteria is attracted to, right? So again, the terrain is always the terrain. You asked me about can animal products heal, etc. Is irrelevant. That's not the question. The question is what kind of terrain is being built to attract these things for you. None of the diets are inherently bad or good based on how you use them, but are these diets creating the terrain that's attracting the parasites? And you have to be open to yourself and answer that question properly, because just because you don't have symptoms doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right. Okay. So are people eating I know it's kind of, I'm like asking the same question here, but like, is eating too much sugar and carbs, is that going to cause a UTI?
Like processed sugar? Yes.
Processed sugar, not fruit sugar, but just processed sugar.
Yeah, because you're more likely to get fungi,
Like a
be
yeast,
attracted.
like Candida or something?
Yes, because sugars, again, that's what they feed off. But bacteria comes when you are eating excessive proteins, you're not breaking down properly, and then you have the heavy metals and you have the toxins in there. Then bacteria is called upon. So to answer your questions, the two herbs I would use specifically for UTIs in general. And the reason why I use them is because they will basically, they have volatile oils that will go in there and kick the bacteria out for you. So they can latch on, basically. This is a herb called buchu. It's a South African herb, and uva ursi. These two plants are supreme when it comes to dealing with UTIs. So you would drink a tea of it or a tincture, and then you can use some cranberry juice, preferably fresh. That will also help you. But if you don't attend, I would argue that your UTIs is a kidney filtration issue and a lymphatic issue at the deepest level, not at
Back
the
to the
surface.
lymphatic system.
There you go. Remember, think of terrain. For those of you, I know you have an amazing group of people. I've watched your videos. I love your recipes. FYI, the way you're very creative. Very inspiring. But what I'm trying to say is that you attract a lot of people on different spectrums of the meat eaters, they want some plant-based eaters, whatever
Yeah,
it
people
might
come
be.
from all over. Hmm.
And I love that because it's showing unity versus fighting over unnecessary things. But if you eat the wrong foods over a period of time and your immune system is weak, or when I say immune system, I refer to the lymphatic system, it's going to attract bacteria. And then you start getting reoccurring UTIs and you can't figure out why. And it's because you are seeing the surface level. Surface level is you have a bacterial issue, but the deep level is your lymphatic system and your kidneys are not filtering. All of you listen to this can test. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, uh, get a jar you don't use, pee into it, look at it in the sun. Ideally, let it sit for 24 hours, if not longer. And then at the bottom, you should see a white layer of sediment. This is a good sign that you are at least removing waste, which is fantastic news. But if it's fairly clear, then ask yourself, where's the waste going?
Okay, so everyone go pee in a cup. And does it have to be in the morning or anytime?
It has to be the first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay,
like don't drink.
what if we pee? What if we get up to pee at 3 a.m.?
It doesn't matter though, because no,
Okay,
like even if you woke up at 3 and you peed and you woke up again and you still peed, you should see the same because you're not drinking water, right?
got
You're
it.
not hydrating. So basically, the body during the night is getting rid of waste. So you should see something still.
Okay. And if we don't see sediment, then that's actually a bad thing.
Yes, it's nothing because the question you got to ask yourself: where's the waste going? Where's all that? Your cells generate waste second by second. And yes, you have the skin. Yes, you have the lungs. Yes, you have the bowels. Yes, but the majority of the waste is from our understanding. Okay, this goes contrary different to other understanding. Is that the kidneys will do the majority of the filtering. So it's good to see sediment. A lot of people say, well, the sediment means that it's an infection. Not so. On the contrary, if you don't see sediment, you can correlate it and look at it and see that you have a little more pain, a little more swelling going on, a little bit of inflammation. That can lie to you. But when you start to see the sediment and the pain starts to go away and all that stuff go away, then you can prove it yourself. I always tell my clients, forget what I'm saying. Just do it and prove to yourself. If you can see it with your own eyes, if you can feel it your own, then you can see. Otherwise, that's what I always say because I can only tell you what I know. I can't tell you what others know. Everybody has their
Sure.
own philosophy and thoughts, etc.
So you said uva ursi. And then also I know everyone thinks about cranberry, but isn't uva ursi derived from cranberry?
No, it's a complete different plant. Divorce is a plant. It's an actual herb plant.
Okay. Then what am I thinking of? Oh, okay. I've heard grapefruit seed extract. Does that help with UTIs?
It can help. FYI, most plants offer some kind of antimicrobial benefits. When I say plants, I mean like the herbs at least. Sorry, the
Okay.
the majority of them actually. I don't know of any that don't directly offer that, meaning that they're cleansing to the body. Uh, if you believe in God or just nature in general, gave us those herbs to be used to our advantage. Even animals know that. Like you speak of say the carnivore. Do you know that lions eat melons?
Oh, really?
Do you know lions eat grass when they want to cleanse?
I know they eat their own cubs, sadly,
Well, I'm saying
sometimes.
I just brought up the lions because I want to clarify that even it's not about like are you a carnivore, are you a fruit eater? It's about using the right tools in the right time when needed, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
for instance, like we use glandulas sometimes in extreme cases. A glandula, that means an animal part, right? And it's used for extreme cases, but never long. Like we use it for 30 days max, maybe to stimulate. But I'm bringing it up because your healing doesn't have to be one way only and etched in stone. It can be, it should be a derivative of everything, provided you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I go through phases as myself where I eat more meat some weeks, and some weeks I don't even eat meat because
Yeah.
my body doesn't feel like it needs it or doesn't crave it, and it's craving
Right.
like more fruit. And so it goes in ebbs and flows. And I think it's important to listen to your body because sometimes you may be lacking in a certain nutrients, and that's your body telling you like eat more of this food.
Exactly. You have to be intuitive to how you feel. Absolutely. You said it beautifully. Most people are not that way, and also a lot of people they have very strong principles and beliefs. So and it goes down to trauma and your emotions. Like if you grew up in a home where your parents loved you and they ate a lot of meat, then you have an affinity towards meat. I'm not saying biologically. I'm saying emotionally. And if you live with a plant-based family and your parents are loving towards you, then you're associated with the plants. And it's like, but you have left logic and intuition. Now you're going by belief and trauma and emotion, which is a different ball game altogether. But it's relates directly to your issues, your health issues, and also to obviously your emotional issues. A lot of people don't like to deal with the trauma or their emotions, and they take sides and they fight. But in actual fact, just be intuitive. Listen to yourself. Your body doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. Understand what fruits do, and understand what meats do for you, right? Don't say one is better than the other. Rather say, how can I use them to serve me at this particular stage of my life?
And I love that, just kind of going back to the food combining, like maybe your body wants both of them, but you just have to eat them at separate times. Because I think that's something that a lot of people maybe miss when they think, oh, well, this food gives me digestive issues because I had it for dinner last night. Well, maybe it's not the food. Maybe it's because you ate it with something else in conjunction. So that's a huge point. Food combining is, I think, very overlooked.
Yes. If I can leave with maybe kind of like a way to remember is always think of fruits like the sprinter, and think of meat as a marathoner, someone who runs a marathon. You don't enter the same race, right? The fruits fast digestion, meat slow digestion. So based on your journey, where you are is what you will use.
Yeah, well, your body, I mean, definitely fruit is a quicker energy where meat is a slow, steady energy. So now I want to actually quickly ask you about Candida, because I know we kind of touched on it when we were talking about UTIs. Now, I think a lot of people think Candida is only in your stomach or in like your vaginal area, but you can also get it in your mouth, right? You can get it's like anywhere.
It's systemic. If you have it one place, you have it everywhere. It just what I mean by that. I mean the body. People fail to realize that the body is. I like to say it in a very descriptive way. It's its own universe. I think a study came out recently. They took it's a tiny piece of the brain, and they literally equated it to a universe. So we do not know much about the human body. We think we do, but we have zero. I believe, considering how vast it is, we have very little knowledge of the human body. But the great news is that the divine or whoever created our bodies, nature, made it in a way that we don't need to know the intricate details of the body, but we just need to know the principles behind healing. If you get those, the body can heal itself. You just need to understand the principles. You don't need to know how it all works. It helps to know it as a practitioner, but I don't pretend to know that or think to know that the body, I know everything about the body, because from what I understand, we don't know much, if anything at all. We do know how it functions as a base level, but we don't know the intricate details. So I look at it that way, a bird's eye view, basically. So I'll use the fruits when I need to, etc., and the herbs when I need to. And I kind of segued. I do apologize.
No, that's okay. And I want to talk quickly before we close about emotional health, because I think sometimes when you're holding on to something emotionally, that can cause a lot of physical illness.
Absolutely. This is a very, very tricky topic to discuss. I have a completely different viewpoint of it. What I use personally, and I've shared with a few people, and it's on a different level. But if I start speaking about it right now, I can go on for hours, literally. But yeah, you have to in a way confront that emotion that's bugging you. You don't need to know, like you don't need to go back and revisit it inch by inch, but you need to know that this emotion that you experienced, where did it come from in general, not specifically, and that it's present, and then you can correct it. If you don't know it's present, and if you don't know that you have a problem, then you can't fix the problem. But if you know it's present, then I would argue that there's a way of facing it very different than therapy, meaning that you have to understand that that experience didn't is not you. It happened to you. But like our experiences, they are thoughts and they are fleeting. And if you understand that you're quite different than your thoughts, then you can separate the experience from you. And it's easier to manage it or to even let it go. However, if you take responsibility fully and it happened to you and it's me, then you're pretty much done. And this will manifest as a health issue, potentially, as a health issue. I'm really big into that topic because obviously everybody has experienced trauma, but I realized that people, they will sabotage themselves, they will eat the wrong foods, they'll complain, they have negativity because of trauma, and they never manage it, and they go to therapy, but sometimes in therapy you just speak and they listen, but you're not really addressing the root cause. So me, I'm all about root causes. Yes, but emotions will affect your will potentially cause a health issue.
Yeah, your overall well-being for sure. Mourab, I think this interview, it needs to be saved by everyone listening because there's so much information on here that we could go back and, dissect it all again. And I think I'm going to go back and do that once it's aired because it's full of great information that you've provided. And for those wondering where they can find you on social media, where your website is, can you share with the audience, please?
Yeah, when I began my journey, when I learned this, all this, I made a promise that I would help anybody I met. Anyone who comes to me, ask me for help, I'll do my best to address it. And it hasn't changed. It's been years and years ago. And no matter who I meet or who asks me, if I see the question, I'm going to answer it. And I won't just answer it on a surface level. I will go all out. Okay, because how I want to be treated is how I'll treat you as well. But the best way to reach me is my Instagram, probably. I try to check the DMs as much as possible. And if I don't see your question, then if I don't respond to you, then you probably want to go through my website and ask a question there. And we always try to get back to you. We will get back to you. If we don't get back to you, that means we didn't see it.
Okay, well, for those, again, I'll put your Instagram link, your website in today's show notes. So go there, check it out so you can find him in one easy tap. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.
Are you looking to reclaim your health? Tune into the Real Foodology podcast, hosted by me, Courtney Swan, integrative nutritionist and real food activist. I'm on a mission to transform our food system by challenging the corrupt practices that undermine our health and replace them with choices that genuinely support our well-being. Listen to Real Foodology podcast on your favorite podcast app. New episodes every Tuesday.